Hey, what's up to all the strengtheners out there, church leaders, pastoral leaders, lay leaders, whoever you are, however you are called to being served and to serve. Like, I am appreciative of you, and strengthening the Black church for the 21st century is appreciative of you. So do me a favor, like, share, comment, tag a friend. We have an amazing pop-up happy hour experience for you, just to give you a little inspiration, a little information, as well as some insight into some amazing things that's happening. I am Natalie Nelson Parker, the program coordinator of the National Network of Young Adults, and I want to introduce you to the man of mans, the executive director of executive directors. Let's go ahead and welcome our fearless leader, the Reverend Dr. Michael Bowie.
What's up? What's up? Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour. So glad you're tuning in. Thank you, Natalie, for reminding me I'm the man of mans. I like
the man of mans.
Okay? Yeah, so I want to welcome all the strengtheners to this happy hour, this pop-up happy hour. So glad you're here today. We're going to have some time of engagement, some time of inspiration, time of information that we pray will lead to transformation. So come on in. We're so glad you're here. So Natalie, let's talk about what's going on.
Well, first of all, Dr. Bowie, I want you to talk a little bit about, like, you're new into this position, right? And this is an amazing opportunity, but it's also like been a difficult transition. Can you talk a little bit about, like,
you know, Natalie,
how you are leading and helping churches at this time?
You know, Natalie, that's a great point. It's been 2 years now, and when I got into the position, the pandemic, it was 3 months in, and I want you all to know it was a challenge for me in the local church. So I want to just send a shout out and say, pastors, keep on serving, keep on leading, because I didn't just read about it, but I was in your shoes for the first 3 months, and that was the most challenging time in my ministry. So I know where you are. But since I'm on kind of the other side of it, I want to encourage you and give you some tips, some tools, and some tactics on how you can navigate through these uncertain times. It's been a challenge for all of us. During this time, Natalie, I have moved twice. We went from Dallas to Nashville, and from Nashville back to Houston in the midst of a pandemic. So I want you all to know that we are in transition in this liminal space, this uncertain time, and it's a challenge for me, but I've kind of got my sea legs under me, and we've been doing a lot of things virtually to really transform communities and strengthen churches. So I've moved around a lot virtually, and I've started to move around in the air, not because I'm flying, but on an airplane. But our goal is to impact every annual conference who really want to have a vital, sustainable, and relevant Black church to transform your community. So that's been our focus in my I guess year and a half. So I'm excited about what I'm doing. I feel called to this work. I love God's people. I love the Black church, and I believe in powerful leadership, and I believe in transformation. So that's what I've been doing, Natalie, in my second year. So I'm ready to see what God is going to do, even in this uncertain season.
And I love that, because that really speaks to your heart and passion for the church, for the Black church, for pastoral leaders, clergy leaders, lay leaders. And I think it also influences, this vision that you are really casting now for not only SBC21, but the church at large. So talk a little bit about Shift Happens and what that was birthed out of.
What Shift Happens, well, I want you to know this is the 25th year that SBC was established. And for 25 years, we've been equipping and empowering clergy, leaders, and communities. So I want you to know, and congregations, I can't forget about the church. But what we've, in this 25th year, we said, what would it look like to do something innovative, creative in the midst of this disruption? And I want you all to know, y'all, that the pandemic was not the first disruption that the world experienced. The world experienced the first disruption called the resurrection. And the resurrection, Natalie, it shifted and changed everything. So if you remember in John 21, Jesus shows up after he rose from the grave. He shows up to his disciples, and the disciples didn't recognize him in John 21:5. But Jesus knew that something had happened. Jesus knew that shift happened. So he tells the disciples, hey guys, hey, fishermen, won't you just cast your nets from the left to the right side? Because pre-resurrection, they were doing things on the left side. Fish were biting on the left side. But after the shift, everything changed and the fish weren't biting on the left. So Jesus says, hey, I want you to cast your nets from the left to the right. And when you do that, you'll have an amazing catch. So I want you to know that what we want to do is, how do we equip and empower leaders to shift from doing ministry from the left side to the right side? And that's not a political position, but it's going from traditional ways of doing things to innovative, unconventional, and creative ways. So that's what Shift Conference is all about. So December 1st and 2nd, we are inviting leaders throughout the Black church to come to St. John's Church downtown December 1st and 2nd to be a part of the Shift Happens Conference. So we will equip and empower you. We'll give you practical tips, tools, and tactics on how to do ministry in innovative and creative ways. So that's what the Shift Conference is all about, Natalie. And I want to share more about that. But won't you invite our friends on there to tell more about this exciting conference that's coming less than 30 days. So not only can they come to Houston, but they can get online and experience a virtual encounter that I believe would transform your ministry in these uncertain times. So y'all, it's time to shift. It's time to do ministry on the right side, because shift has happened, but God is still in control.
I love that. I love that. And you know what I really love is that, you know, that you have the vision, but we have an amazing, diverse team that's really talented, gifted, just like we see in our local churches. So let's bring the team up. We have the amazing Candy Kyler, who is, I've had the privilege to work with. Come on, it's the zhuzh for me, sis.
Oh, you caught me.
She getting a happy hour.
Right. Hey, y'all.
Hey, and shout out to everybody that's joining us. We see you. Go ahead and drop a comment. Let us know, what city are you representing? What church are you representing? We so appreciate you for having happy hour with us today. Yes, I know where you are. You all over the world.
So
and
this is happy hour on Holy Hump Day. This is Holy Hump Day.
Cheers.
Oh,
cheers,
okay.
cheers.
Stay hydrated, our friends. Amen.
Yes, right. Stay thirsty, man.
So, Candy, let's bring up, we call her Miss Carolyn, but I call her Mama Carolyn because she just keeps us all together.
That's right.
Hey, Miss Carolyn.
Hello. It is such an honor to be here with you all today.
What's going on, Miss Carolyn? Good seeing you.
Getting ready for happy hour. Stay hydrated.
All right. That holy H2O.
And the woman, the myth, the legend, the Tosca Medlock Lee. Let's bring her up.
Yes. Woo-hoo. Got something in your cup. Get something in your cup.
All right.
We got it.
Do y'all see this? Polo just plugged out my light, y'all.
You know what? Polo need a whooping.
Yeah.
Polo need his own show.
Yeah,
Polo, that's what it is.
No. Polo is her dog.
Polo is my puppy Polo. He's a whole situation, just like Lil Leon. Oh, there we go.
There we go. And then there was light.
Yes.
Praise God.
So let's talk about it, guys, because, and shout out to everybody. Dawn Freeman, I see you. Yes, we love you.
What's up, Dawn?
Like, share, comment, tag a friend, join happy hour tonight. So all of us really come from different sectors, different backgrounds, and we have been solidified by SBC21 in a way that I think represents God's beloved community, represents God's plan for churches, right? To really activate the gifts that are inside of us. So can you talk a little bit, Tosca, about just the role that you play in SBC21 and how even in Shift Happens, someone who's experiencing the same kind of call or same kind of pull can be activated at Shift through that.
Thank you, Natalie. And again, hello to everyone out there that's watching. And it's just an honor to be a part of this amazing body of SBC21. Y'all, we are celebrating 25 years of equipping and impacting and, encouraging clergy leaders and lay persons. And I've had the pleasure to serve as a consultant with SBC21 for at least a decade of those years. And Nathalie, I came in under Dr. Allen working in the space of mass incarceration and social justice. And that program has evolved I just cannot even imagine. And I think you came in shortly after myself, and you created the National Network of Young Adults. So we have been sort of innovators in a sense of things that were not. Yeah. And so we came in on the right side, right?
Yeah, you've been on the right side.
Because there was nothing there. And so my role has evolved, and what I am, I guess, is that I'm whatever Dr. Bowie needs me to be. You know how they do it in basketball with the X's and O's, and you like whatever
Tasha,
you need
I
to
think
be.
we all are.
I was gonna say that's what we all do.
That's what we all do.
So hey, Tosca, hey team. So when I was in Orlando, Florida, about 5 years ago, I saw everybody had WIT on their back. I said, man, your name WIT? I said, what is WIT? WIT means whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes mode. So I have the joy of working with an amazing anniversary committee to kind of kick off the pleasure of celebrating 25 years with this vision that Dr. Bowie has with Shift Happens. And so all I could tell you is that if you are, what do you say, Nathalie, overwhelmed, if you are stressed, if you have a lot on your plate, if you are tired of doing the same old, and you know that that's insanity, then you need to get to Houston, Texas, so that you will be able to learn some innovative strategies. And I'm not saying what we're going to sit down and tell you in a classroom. We have meticulously identified congregations in the Houston area who have shifted and are doing ministry on the right side. And
we have a field trip. It's like a field trip.
That's what that means. Man. This means that it's demonstration and it's teaching.
I like it.
So it's a show and tell. It's a field trip. And so we are really trying to encourage. We don't care if you have 20 people worshiping with you or if you have 20,000. But fact of the matter is that we're going to show you where congregations are doing it and impacting where they are with what they have. Mm-hmm. And so that's why this work is important to me. That's why it's important to all of us. That's why all of us are called WIT, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it
takes.
That's
awesome, though, Tosca. That's awesome the way that you guys have worked to put the conference together, because we know we go to conferences for 2 and 3 days and we get inundated with all of this information, and when you leave you're just zonked, and you haven't had an opportunity to process it. So this way, people like me that are kinesthetic learners, I actually get to see it being done. And then the way the conference is built out, we actually get to sit together and talk about what we just learned, talk through the processes that we've just heard about. How do we feel about it? How can we implement it in our congregations? Yes. So this is going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Candy, you're absolutely right. I think that when Nathalie led that content development and to put those dine and dialogues, we call it dine and dialogue. And so just like Candy just said, you're not going to be just getting information, but we're going to pause. You're going to dine and you're going to brain dump, and you're going to walk away with what you need to do and some ideas that you could go with your leadership team. Speaking of leadership team, Nathalie, and Leadership Forward, we kicked it off. And do you remember saying that no ministry is an island?
No ministry.
No ministry is an island. So don't come here by yourself, because you are not meant to do ministry alone.
Yeah. Right. And don't forget now, there's always the virtual piece. If you want to fly, we have a hybrid. Register and come online. We're happy to see you anyway.
I love that, Miss Carolyn. And I think that also speaks to what I love about Shift Happens this year is that Lit Conference is going to be at Shift. And so there are so many times that we have these conversations about innovation and we leave out one of the most critical populations in the church and in, just in demographic period, young adults. And so I love that there's going to be that intergenerational piece. And I want to invite you, Miss Carolyn, because you are just so supportive of the National Network of Young Adults, and you earnestly represent a section of the church that's like, what can we do better? Can you talk a little bit about what you're excited about with this new lit conference and shift happening simultaneously?
I'm excited because it's an opportunity to have that intergenerational link, that there actually would be communications, and we're going to learn from the young people, because we get stuck sometimes because we don't want to pass the baton.
Tell the truth, Miss Carolyn.
To the right. It's time to pass the baton.
Yeah.
Them up the way they should go. Don't let them get old. Keep them while they're young, because you're the church of today, and you definitely will be the church of tomorrow. I'm so excited.
So Natalie, I hear Miss Carolyn. She's one of our seasoned sages. So Miss Carolyn, I believe, is in the boomer generation. So I hear Miss Carolyn saying it's time for the boomers to pass the baton to the generation before them, so that the church could have wisdom, energy, experience to bring about transformation. So Ms. Carolyn, thank you for giving your generation permission to pass the baton. And passing the baton don't mean it's over for you. That means that you're at a different level in your maturity and maturation stage. So thank you for sharing that, because there's a boomer listening right now. We're not just kicking out the old folk, but we're saying we need your wisdom. We need your experience to impact this generation, the now generation, and the future generations. So thank you, Ms. Carolyn, for sharing that.
And I have to add, I'm learning from them probably more than they're learning from me. They're pushing me. All this new technology, I said, whoa, hold up, wait a minute. But they're excited to teach, and we're just having a great time.
I love that. And I think that, that speaks to exactly what Shift Happens is all about, right? Really recognizing practical, right now strategies that you can use in your church, in your congregation, in your ministry setting to make sure that you're leading, innovating, and having transformation. So I want to go over to Candy real quick. Candy, can you talk a little bit about the design and the creativity that's going to be involved with Shift Happens this year? And for everyone who doesn't know, Candy is the creative director, the experienced design expert who's literally been with Lit Conference from its beginning. So can you just, for the people that's like, okay, what does doing it on the right side mean? What's that gonna look like? Can you talk a little bit about like the worship and the speakers and some of those elements that make this experience and this conference different than anything you've ever seen before?
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the major things that you and I have done in working together for the past 5 years is making sure that we're giving people something to touch, giving them something to smell, and of course, something to see and something to hear. So while we're touching all of that, while we're implementing all of those areas, it helps to awaken the senses. It helps to awaken the mind. And we know through experiences is where people see God. So what we want to do is offer this experience for our leaders so they can take some things back, open their minds and expand, because believe me, there's way more creative people than myself sitting right there in your congregations. And this gives them the opportunity to be free, be open, to just do more. So in this conference, not only will we have dining dialogues, which we talked about earlier, the opportunity for you to talk through and not just sit through a conference and take notes. You're actually teaching and talking and helping one another. And then we talked about the immersions. So going out and seeing what these other ministries are doing and how that helps to click a light bulb for yourself. But also we will have creative communion. We have pastors that are coming.
So we're gonna have communion.
We're gonna have communion. We're gonna close out the conference with
like
an immersive communion.
It will be done differently. Doing communion different.
Hey, because I'm a Reformed Catholic and I'm very sacramentology. I love the Eucharist. So tell me more about this communion.
I don't want to let it out. I don't want to tell it.
But they gotta
I don't want to tell
You
it.
gotta
They don't want to
register.
miss it.
You
Yeah.
gotta be there to
You
it.
got to
But,
be
hey,
there to know. You
But we'll
definitely
give
don't
you a
want to
little
miss this
taste.
experience.
Let's see spoken word, creativity.
Okay, just a little bit. That's all.
That's
That's
enough.
all.
That's enough. That's enough.
Don't tell them what we doing.
But Candy, how can they experience this? Because then we have some good news for them. I think we got here. What's the good news about how can they today? Well, Nathy, tell them about the good news.
Oh, we do. We have a special for the
But
people.
can I just drop that creativity in what Candy was just talking about with what's going to happen in worship? But what I also need you to know is that, like I said earlier, about the real-time ministry immersions. And we say that because sometimes Candy said you have to see, touch, feel, smell, all of those senses. And it's sometimes you have to see it in order to believe it and say, you know
That's
what?
good.
We can do that. And so we have really single-handedly, and this is a partnership with our Black Methodists for Church for Renewal. And I want you to know that there's a narrative about the Black United Methodist Church. Oh, it's dying. We ain't doing this and we're not doing that. There's a negative narrative. But when I tell you that to be able to see congregations, no matter what size, that they are activated in their gifts, what you need to know is your gift.
That's good.
You need to know the gift of your congregation and understanding your why. And you will be able to see that firsthand with these real-time ministry immersions when you get here to Houston. And so it's not like you have to be a 20,000 person congregation. You got 50 folks, that's all you need. You got 20 worshiping, that's all you need. Let's get it.
You know what, Tosca? They also not only they'll learn more at the conference, but they need to just check out SBC21 and what we're doing. 2021 and 2022, because that's what we're all about, strengthening the church. And there's some ways, if you need an extra push, you need some strategy behind how you can figure out the gifts of your church, your congregation, and in the community, then they need to visit our website, SBC21.org. Okay. SBC21.org. It's right there at the bottom.
All right. Cool.
And like not to like boss up or anything, but you see those speakers though. It's the speakers for me.
Hey. You know what? Let me tell you, it's this chick named Reverend Dr. Nathalie Nelson Parker. Y'all, I'm telling
not
you,
the doctor,
right now,
not the doctor.
The you know, everybody's a doctor. I'm telling you right now. I have been talking about, because she's been practicing that word on us. And so I'm telling you, she got that word. She done caught the vision, and you need to hear Reverend Nathalie Nelson Parker. And here's what I want to say to the congregations that want to know how you activate your young adults. Okay, you want to know how you activate your young adults? They need to sit under Nathalie just for this evening and to be immersed in the lit experience, and to come in and just hang out and talk to them, because I'm guaranteed, just bring one or two of your young adults. Again, that's all you need. Bring one or two. They will be.
Well, that makes it even more amazing that it's not only a conference for seasoned adults, but it's also an opportunity for the younger adults. And Nathalie, tell them a little bit about Lit at Shift and what that looks like.
Oh my good. Somebody in the comments put, y'all got me cracking up. I love it. shout out to Dawn Freeman.
Hey, just crack up.
You just don't know how our staff meetings are, huh?
Yeah, I think so. As you know, Tosca.
Hold on. Did you say this is like a staff meeting?
Yep, this is how it goes, y'all.
This is real life. It is shifting at this moment.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great question. One, you can look at the speakers. Pastor Olu Brown, Reverend Dr. Kevin Muriel, alongside his techno-evangelist, Timothy Farmer, the amazing, incomparable Rudy Rasmus and his wife, Dr. Bowie, our own staff, Candy Kyler, Brennan Booz, Derek Walker, Mickey Grace. They're just amazing individuals that are working out their call. And so what we're going to help you to understand, particularly with the lit portion, is calling to change culture and the culture of change, right? Because
say that again. That's good. Calling
to change culture, because that's who Jesus was, right? A new way. Right. So Yeah, helping people to embrace that call that is inside of you, that is only for you, that is created in you. And that's really what the National Network is all about. Call, discern, and responding to who God is calling us to be. And then once you recognize that call, how do you activate transformation in your life to be the change agent that you know that you're called to? So we're really excited about that. But listen, shifters, strengtheners, whoever you are, wherever you are, however God is calling you in this season, I need you to go ahead to SBC21.org and go and register for Shift Happens. We have an amazing opportunity for you. We're going to go ahead and pull it up in the banner. And I want you all to know, because we love you, because we care about you, because we are invested in your success, that you have from now until 12/25, in honor of our 25th years of service and empowering congregations, you have a special 25% off. What? At
25% off.
25%. Y'all better like, share, comment, give us some hearts and love.
So when is this up? 12/25 on what day?
On Monday.
So we have between now and Monday.
We got 5 days.
So they can celebrate the Braves and they can purchase their ticket.
Hey, you know what? The happy hour.
The happy hour just got more.
I forgot I got these Houston people on here.
Okay.
How did she sneak the Braves in there? Okay.
I don't know how she did. She was fast.
She shifted. But they beat my Astros, but we'll be back next year. But in the meantime, we're going to shift. That's what we're going to do.
Absolutely. So stop what you're doing. Grab your friend, grab a group. If you do have a group, we do have group rates for you. And listen, what does that look like? That means you can be there in person or you can be there virtually. This is a Shift Happens conference, right? So we're going to make sure that we are catering to what works best for you. All right. Go ahead, like, share, comment, tag a friend, and make sure that you're sharing this with them so that they are not left out. Dr. Bowie, go ahead and just take some last words to bless all of the people that have taken the time to be with us. We love and appreciate you again. Thank you for allowing SBC21 to guide you, to resource you, to support you in your work, in your ministry, however you've been called to serve.
Dr. Bowie, before you finish out, I want to say this, because there are a lot of people that's watching us, that's in the comments, Nathalie, who are leaders in their church. I want you to commit to calling your pastor right now and saying, we need to go.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I want to go. So there are people, their pastors are not on right now, but there are leaders in the church who are serving. They're worship leaders. They are, over the communications. They're over social justice. They're over ministries in their local church. Call your pastor and say, I want to go. And
I got to add something to that. There are young adults that you let walk out the doors of your church. I dare you to call Pookie and all of them.
Kiki and Pookie and them. Got to call them.
And bring them to lit conference.
H-Town.
I guarantee you, and I'm not a betting woman, but I guarantee you no young adult who has had a lit experience has left the same. And if you want to see your church activated, if you want to see young adults activated to lead in your congregation, in your church, you need to make sure that you sponsor them and send them to Lit at Shift Conference, as well as our young clergy leaders. Listen, I'm one of y'all, okay? Yeah. You have a community to support you.
Yeah. Nathan, I tell you, I'm so excited. And I want to, for those listening, this is my squad. This is my squad, and I love my squad. They make me better. They make me look good, and we all do good for the kingdom. And I want to just say this in closing. God gave me this vision, but this squad has run with the vision. They've called it, and we want you to catch this vision. And I love what Candy said. This conference is about demonstration, information, and it's going to lead to transformation. You don't want to miss this conference. And as Nathalie said, if I was a betting man, if you show up to this, whether it be virtually or in person, you show up, God is going to show out the same way God showed up on that shore to the disciples. God is going to show up wherever you are. But you have to make that move. You got 5 days to register, because I believe, y'all, the shift has happened, but God is in the midst of the shift. So I'm not trying to sneak a preach, but I want you to know, y'all,
Yes, you are. Don't lie.
Yeah, always.
I know. I'm sorry. But I want all the leaders to understand that these are trying times. And I know we get frustrated sometimes, but I want you to know that God is in the midst of our frustration. God is in the midst of this mayhem. God is in the midst of the shift. But know that when you register, that amazing things are going to happen. You're going to connect with more young adults. You're going to do amazing things. We're going to shift you technologically. There's going to be a lot of things happening. And this is not your mom and pop conference. This is something that was birthed out of this disruption that I believe is going to change your life forever. So go and register. Don't hesitate. Go register. It's 25% off for the next 5 days. But then we have group rates. And I think the group rate is 5 or more for $99. $99 to invest for a lifetime. So go make sure you do it now. I thank God for you. Looking on the clock on the wall, it's almost over, y'all. But I want y'all to know today. I want y'all to know today that the shift has happened, but God is still in control. So Nathalie closes out and Nathalie style, but make sure you go and register today, and your life will never be the same.
Well, I'm simply going to say, no matter who you are, no matter where you are in life's journey, make sure you hashtag shift.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see y'all.
We'll see y'all soon. Thank y'all for tuning in to Holy Happy Hour. God bless y'all.
Absolutely. Make sure you like, share, comment, invite your friends, tag your friends. We will be back next week with some more updates. We might have a little surprises up our sleeves. You might be able to see some of the speakers.
Don't tell them.
We give you a little bit, just a little bit. All right, a little something. Thank you again for trusting us to journey with you as you strengthen the Black church. As Dr. Bowie will say, when you strengthen the Black church, you strengthen the church universal. Peace out, y'all.
Love y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, team.